Someone is pulling the strings from the shadows, orchestrating the downfall of Diddy's career. Both Mayor Eric Adams and Diddy appear to be going down, and allegedly, one of the biggest names in the music industry is behind it all. Could it be JayZ? Was he secretly controlling Diddy all along, and is he now plotting to send him to jail? Leaked audio from a private call is now exposing horrifying secrets.
Prison phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're gonna listen to it together. Check it out.
Not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes leftover.
Now, this alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like you talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that maybe JayZ, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's gonna have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. And we don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged leak call.
Submitted to Judge Arun Subramanian by acting U.S. Attorney Matthew Podolsky lays out what this is about, lays out the three big differences in this new filing. Quote, the third superseding indictment contains three substantive changes to the charged offenses. First, Count 4, which is, by the way, a new count, Count 4 charges an additional substantive count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion with respect to Victim 2. Victim 2 was previously identified as a victim of sex trafficking in Count 1 of the second superseding indictment. And if you look at Count 1 in the second superseding indictment, which is racketeering conspiracy, it reads in part, Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, Victim 1, Victim 2, and Victim 3, to engage in commercial sex acts. In connection with the commercial sex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Okay, so again, that was Count 1 in the second superseding indictment. But now, Combs is facing a new individual sex trafficking charge against Victim 2. And it reads, quote, from at least in or about 2021 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs, and then it says, recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained Victim 2 and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused Victim 2 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in reckless disregard for the fact that Victim 2 was engaging in commercial sex acts as a result of force fraud.
Diddy Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial. In a civil case filed in Florida April 1st, Joseph Manzaro alleges, according to court documents obtained by E! News, that he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise facilitated by Combs and others back in 2015, and names celebs such as Beyonce, JayZ, and LeBron James as witnesses in the lawsuit. In his filing, Manzaro says the alleged events took place in April 2015. He states that he lost consciousness after feeling a, quote, greasy substance resembling Vaseline as he opened the front door to his home, after which he says he was transported to another residence, where an associate of Combs allegedly told him that the music mogul wanted him brought to a freak-off event. Manzaro alleges in the suit he was secretly transferred to the music producer's home through a concealed tunnel allegedly connected to Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan's Miami property. He alleges that upon regaining partial consciousness, he found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was a birthday party for Combs' then 17-year-old son Christian Combs. There he was allegedly forced to appear in a penis mask. The lawsuit states, JayZ and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?" Manzaro alleges in the lawsuit that he was then forcibly paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him, and that Combs himself stated, "He's gonna find out what we do to snitches tonight. Get him undressed." Manzaro says that after being stripped and forcibly washed, he was sexually assaulted and forced to partake in unwanted sexual activity. He also alleges in the filing he woke up to find himself on a couch in a small dark side room, after which he says he was dressed and taken out of the residence to another house, where he was savagely beaten and left for dead. He alleges that both the Estefans and James saw him before he entered Combs' home, with the suit stating that as he was dragged through the back entrance of their mansion at approximately 12:30 a.m., Gloria, quote, panicked upon seeing his deteriorating state and said, "Call an ambulance." However, Manzaro says Emilio quickly silenced her and ushered her away. He also says that after encountering James, the NBA star looked at him and said in response to Gloria's plan for an ambulance, "Y'all better do something about that." In a statement to E! News, Combs' legal team says the filed complaint demonstrates the depraved lengths plaintiffs will travel to garner headlines in pursuit of a payday. No sane person reading this complaint could credit this story. Mr. Combs looks forward to having his day in court, where these lies and the perverse motives of those who told them will be revealed. E! News has reached out to JayZ and Beyonce, the Estefans, and James for comment, and
A third superseding indictment has been filed against Sean Diddy Combs by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. This new indictment introduces a fresh victim and adds charges of sex trafficking and illegal transportation for the purpose of prostitution, putting Diddy at risk of even more prison time if convicted. Unsurprisingly, Diddy has denied all allegations. According to his legal team, the alleged victims were actually his long-term girlfriends.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper JayZ of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include JayZ as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. JayZ has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
And one of the people at risk, often mentioned online, was JayZ, real name Sean Carter, who came up in the New York rap scene alongside Sean Combs. And just a few days ago, Texas attorney Tony Busby made it official. He filed an amended complaint on behalf of a Jane Doe who says that she was raped by Combs and Carter when she was just 13 years old, that this happened at a VMA's after party back in 2000. Now, the original complaint mentioned Celebrity A and Celebrity B, a man and woman, as being present for and even Celebrity A participating in the alleged assault. Well, now Celebrity A has been identified as JayZ, who has adamantly denied anything like that ever happening. He is very, very clear on that. In fact, he has accused Tony Busby of extortion, saying that Busby's attempts to get celebrities to pay out huge sums of money in exchange for not being named in civil lawsuits with what he claims are false allegations amounts to blackmail. In fact, JayZ is believed to be the John Doe who just recently filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby anonymously, claiming extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Beyonce, JayZ, and LeBron James have now been named in a civil case filed in Florida on April 1st. The plaintiff, Joseph Manzaro, claims he was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as part of a coercive criminal enterprise allegedly organized by Diddy and others. He alleges that Beyonce and JayZ were present at a freak-off party where the abuse occurred. And this isn't the first time Jay-Z's name has been connected to Diddy, and it likely won't.
Sean Diddy Combs, looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced as prosecutors allege.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News.
Just months ago, Jay-Z was named in another lawsuit tied to Diddy. He was even listed as a defendant. The lawsuit alleged that Jay-Z participated in the abuse of a 13-year-old minor alongside Diddy.
I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside.
You have reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
And he's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, pup. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control and you won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just alleged.
And just do the I told you to do, and don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed. Alright. Good. So tell me, what's been going on? How the girls doing? How's Quincy doing? They good. Quincy, he been filming a lot. And yo, don't tell me that he's out here filming for that vlog show, what the fuck it's called. Yeah, I guess so. He do got us in there too. Yo, y'all motherfuckers stupid. Y'all understand the definition of lay low? This nigga got a fucking TV show while I'm dealing with this shit. Y'all need to just stay out the fucking press. No cameras, no nothing. Don't entertain nothing. Don't take pictures. Don't sign autographs. Just stay in the fucking house. Not me though, Pop. I do be in the crib. Everybody else just be on different shit. Don't nobody want to listen to what I gotta say. But it's all good. I got motherfuckers cutting deals left and right trying to take me down. Nah, Pop. Everything gonna be alright. We gonna get you out. Oh, I know. Cause I got one more trick up my sleeve. And this one is gonna put everybody back in their seat. I can't wait to see the look on everybody's faces when this shit happens. What you mean, though, Pop? Don't even worry about it. Just do me a favor and vote for Harris. Alright? And don't be surprised I got the pig pen, Bobby. I did it. Are you stupid? I gotta go.
JayZ's name keeps surfacing, and as we peel back the layers, it's becoming more evident that he and Diddy were more than just industry friends. Allegedly, JayZ was the mastermind behind the entire operation, and he exposed Diddy to save himself. Even Mayor Eric Adams of New York has been implicated in Diddy's criminal network and was recently arrested on corruption charges. JayZ, sensing the heat, stepped back and pinned the entire mess on Diddy.
A top rap star is busted.
JayZ turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as JayZ. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was JayZ hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of JayZ.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect.
A leaked prison call revealed that Diddy was anxiously waiting for JayZ to contact him. Diddy knows JayZ is the only one powerful enough to help him now. He even asked his son, Christian Combs, to reach out. But JayZ is playing it smart. He's doing everything possible to distance himself from Diddy. If JayZ goes down, his and Beyonce's billion-dollar empire could go down with him.
Now to another win in court for Sean Diddy Combs. A federal judge dismissing a sexual assault lawsuit against the hip-hop mogul, citing the plaintiff's failure to file a complaint under her real name. Combs has denied all wrongdoing.
And joining us now is ABC Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky and ABC News contributor and attorney Brian Buckmeyer. Gentlemen, good to see you both. So Aaron, we'll start with you. Tell us exactly how this case got dismissed.
Well, it's as simple as that. The judge said that the presumption is when you file a civil lawsuit against somebody, the defendant has a right to know who his accuser is. So at some point, she was not going to be allowed to proceed anonymously. The only thing we knew about her in this case is a New York woman who says she was sexually assaulted and violently hit by Sean Combs sometime around 1995 at a party for a Biggie Smalls video. And the judge told her at some point, you're going to have to say who you are. She refused to do it by the deadline the judge set, and so the judge...
Let's not forget, JayZ has a history of betrayal. In December 1999, he stabbed his associate Lance on Rivera and fled the scene. He later pled guilty to third-degree assault in 2001 and received a 3-year probation sentence. This backstabbing behavior isn't new.
For years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
JayZ has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
She is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything, just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof.
Now the spotlight is slowly turning toward JayZ. Meanwhile, lawsuits against Diddy are being withdrawn. According to Diddy's legal team, all remaining cases will eventually be dismissed or dropped. But why the sudden shift?
Diddy Combs' legal team is getting a little smaller. As the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges, his attorney Anthony Rico respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice. The motion continues, quote, while I'm aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case.
So the high-powered law firm of Grubman, Shire, Masalis, and Sachs has dropped Combs as a client. Now, this is the firm of Alan Grubman, who is a very prominent entertainment lawyer that represents some very big names. The Weeknd, Madonna, Chris Brown, Paul Simon, Usher, Bruce Springsteen. In fact, by the way, Alan Grubman was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He actually helped found that back in the 1980s. So, gives you an idea about how big of a powerhouse this firm is. Now let's go back to Sean Combs. So the rumor circulating is that this firm did this because singer and actress Lady Gaga had threatened to leave the firm unless they parted ways with Combs. This is according to reporting by News Nation. And it's a big deal because the rapper and producer had apparently been with Grubman's firm for over 20 years. He was friends with Alan Grubman.
Insiders are now claiming that JayZ is actually worse than Diddy. Behind the scenes, he allegedly ran the entire operation, using Diddy as the public face. While Diddy bragged about his actions, JayZ kept things silent. Is it really just coincidence that both men entered the industry together, got hit with charges around the same time in the 90s, and became billionaires side by side? Those who opposed JayZ seem to disappear. And now, it may have been Diddy's turn.
Very important that we do that. An attorney walking away. Sometimes it's because they don't get the lead chair or one of the lead chairs. Sometimes it's because a client is lying. Sometimes it's because they believe wholeheartedly that the client is going to be guilty and they don't want to be associated with that guilt because that's a loss on their record. It could be a variety of things, but the fact that we are speculating about that when the trial date hasn't even started yet concerns me because I'm one of those people, ladies and gentlemen, who firmly believes it's virtually impossible to find a jury that's not contaminated by some kind of information that's been put out to the public before a trial begins. I'm not one of those that believes that. May 5th is May 5th. I mean, come on now. That's more than 2 months away. Jury ain't been selected yet. You trying to tell me nobody that's on the jury will have heard that a lawyer backed out of the case? I don't know about y'all, but I find that that's not a good thing for Sean Diddy.
Right around the time Diddy was hit with charges, his longtime law firm, Grubman, Shire, Masalis, and Sachs, dropped him. Diddy had worked with them for over 20 years. Why would a powerhouse law firm walk away from a billionaire client in the middle of a federal case? Allegedly, JayZ pressured them to do it.
This morning in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs, prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims and possible witnesses. And ABC's Phil Lipoff is here now with this story. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Gio. Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims. This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Sean Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial. In a court filing late Friday, prosecutors detailing the steps they say Combs is taking while locked up to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion to affect potential jurors.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. The government now asking a judge not to grant Combs' third request for bail, in which the music mogul offers a $50 million bail package citing new evidence and changed circumstances.
Why did Anthony Rico and the firm Grubman Shire Mycelas and Sachs decide to cut ties with Diddy? Is the evidence against him really that damning? Or is something else at play?
Happened at these lavish, drug-fueled nights called Wild King Nights. So this 32-page lawsuit, which was reviewed by multiple outlets, including Rolling Stone, was apparently filed in Los Angeles by a man named Philip Pines, who says he worked for Diddy from 2019 to 2021. So actually more recent than some other suits we've seen against Sean Combs that have been in the early 2000s or even the 90s. But according to reporting in the suit, Pines is alleging a few different things here. Now, before we even get into it, and there is a lot to get into, you might be wondering, what the heck does that name mean? What are we talking about when we said Wild King Nights? Well, part of this lawsuit alleges that Pines had to prove his loyalty to Sean Combs, who was dubbed the King, by performing sex acts for him, hence the name Wild King Nights. The suit even reportedly says that Pines was treated, quote, like an animal playing fetch in order to prove his loyalty.
This morning, new details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest. The entertainment mogul now behind bars for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted, and we were just at his disposal.
Phil Pines was Diddy's senior executive assistant from 2019 to 2021. He says his then boss asked him to purchase supplies for parties dubbed Wild King Nights.
We usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, molly. Those requests started to become more frequent.
Pines claims many of these parties involved younger women.
A lot of times you would have him with a younger female, and there's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
A former member of Sean Diddy Combs' team is speaking out. As the embattled record producer awaits a federal trial on sex trafficking and other charges to which he has pleaded not guilty, his former chief of staff, Christina Coram, is breaking her silence. In response to allegations linked to her in several separate civil cases filed against Combs, Coram, who worked for the Bad Boys record founder for over a decade, tells Rolling Stone in a statement published March 18th, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family." Adding, "I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of playing a role in or even being a bystander to the rape of anyone is beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable." She ends her statement saying, "This is not who I am, and my heart goes out to all victims of sexual assault. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue."
Diddy has reportedly been in contact with JayZ and other key witnesses tied to his criminal allegations. There are even claims that he was briefly released from prison, just as JayZ was being sued. Did JayZ allow Diddy out to help clean up the mess? It's strange how, right after Diddy's temporary release, the victim accusing JayZ of rape suddenly withdrew her lawsuit. Given Diddy's ties to these witnesses, it's reasonable to believe he may have played a role in that. Someone seems to be pressuring people in Diddy's inner circle to speak out against him. His former executive assistant and chief of staff,